We landed in the most sanctioned country in the world. And no, this is not North Korea. This is Russia. And our phones went dark.
Hold on, where we are?
This is our channel Moon Rising Brigade. We travel, we live with our fluffy companions, and nothing ever goes quite as planned. Real stories, real life on the move. Subscribe and travel with us. When you arrive in Russia, your phone sends you a message. Your mobile internet and SMS are blocked for 24 hours. You can still make calls, but everything else goes dark. It doesn't matter if your SIM is Russian or foreign. If you haven't used it in the country for more than 3 days, you go through the same process. It's an anti-drone measure. They need to confirm your SIM card is being used by a person, not by a machine. You get a verification link. Press CAPTCHA. You'll need Wi-Fi for that. And in theory, everything unblocks. In theory. We arrived before New Year's Eve. I passed verification and nothing happened. The internet came back the next day only.
It's very complicated to navigate at the moment because of the GPS service is being jammed for the safety reasons to avoid the drone attacks.
And when your only option is to look up instead of down at the screen, you actually start to see it. And then this. Moscow doesn't do Christmas quietly. Every street, every square, every boulevard is wrapped in light. And not just the center. Even the residential neighborhoods glow. But what is interesting is not the scale, but the system behind it. These trees aren't just city decorations. Each one is designed and sponsored by a company. Some by Aeroflot, some belongs to beauty brands. In Russia, when a business operates in the city, it doesn't just pay taxes. It invests directly into schools, orphanages, public spaces, and holiday decorations. It's not just in Moscow. This is how it works across the country. The result is a city where beauty is not accidental, it's engineered.
Old man. My husband's favorite time to walk is after 11. When shops are closed, so I cannot buy anything, I cannot spend a lot of money. but it's still very beautiful, lots of lights everywhere, and it's nice to walk.
And it is very pleasant to walk when everything is beautiful and bright, even when it's very cold.
So we came for the Red Square. That's a traditional walk that we do every year.
That's a traditional visit spot for my husband.
You see, I'm a bit cliché, but I don't care.
For someone who's never been to Russia, who's only seen it through headlines and sanction reports, this is the first thing that hits you. Not politics and not tensions, light. We walk to one of Moscow's most famous spots. From the outside, it looks peaceful. Moscow golden youth come here for a wine at sunset. But this place has a different history.
This is the pond, Patriarshie pond, and it has really, really dark history. During pagan times, it was a swamp here, fed by the river Chertati. I don't remember the name. Chertari. The river has a very, very dark reputation.
So the stream was called Chertori, roughly the Devil Stream. And according to the legend, there was a pagan sanctuary on its banks.
Then they were keeping goats here. They noticed that sometimes one black appearing. If this black goat was entering somebody's yard, that was meaning something really, really bad. That someone from this house died. They asked Patriarch to come and to read the blessings around the place. And this is when the goats stopped to appear here.
The place was consecrated. Holy water and the black goat stopped appearing, but the dark reputation stayed. Mikhail Bulgakov chose exactly this spot for devil to enter Moscow in the Master and Margarita.
So we're trying to find a fancy place named Coffemania.
So after 2 hours of walking around Patriarshie Pond in -15, we needed to warm up. But we didn't want just any coffee shop. We wanted to find a place where coffee rough was invented.
Finally, by tell about the right here. Level of service. Nice temples.
In 1996, in a tiny coffee shop near Kuznetsky Most metro station, 3 baristas had a problem. A regular named Raphael didn't like coffee.
Бариста он заказывал эспрессо и сливки, говорил, чтобы ему смешали этот кофе. И все начали гости просить, сделайте мне как у Рафа, и так появился Раф кофе.
У нас есть один открыли одно место, называется Раф. И туда вот все идут за Рафом, и оно постепенно набирает популярность. Original. So this is famous Раф. C'est avec les oranges. You try?
After the central Moscow places, we decided to go somewhere not touristic, Vorontsovsky Park.
It's getting dark here pretty early, and that's why they start to turn on the lights somewhere around 3 to 4, which looks pretty cool. So let's go to the park.
In winter, the park turns into something between a forest and a fairground. There are light installations in the trees, kiosks selling donuts and churros, feeders where you can buy seeds for the birds and nuts for squirrels. The sanctions cut Russia off from Visa and MasterCard, but inside the country, the national payment system handles everything. And you tap, pay, and get your donut in the usual way.
So we're in a cafe in the park.
Yes.
Can you explain what it is about?
Enjoy the winter vibe with the old облепиха tea. It's
Pibira.
to pronounce облепиха.
Pibira.
Облепиха with honey.
Big One was wearing what he called his high-tech jacket, a thin French puffer that he believed in with the kind of faith usually reserved for religion. He'd had it for years and he was proud of it. The fact that it was -15 and the jacket was designed for a Parisian autumn, he chose to ignore. And that jacket would cost us. But not yet. We decided to drive east to a town that looked like a fairy tale.
Just getting super cold. No, the ice is good. The ice is good.
Etheric.